Hi, everybody. Thank you so much for tuning in. My name is Sharon Hunter. I am a director here in New Bern, North Carolina with Team More Than Enough. And I want to thank my superstar director, Shannon Grant, who's amazing, for inviting me on here. And today we are going to be talking about events. So I have about 8 to 10 minutes to talk, and I'm going to try to squeeze everything in. So if I'm talking fast, you can watch the replay. So let's just dive right in. Have you ever thought about doing an event, right? Well, where do you start? That's what I'm going to talk to you about. Where do you find events? How to book parties and get new teammates from events? And why are they so useful? So let's start with where you find events. Go to Google. You have to ask first of all, but you gotta go to Google. Google will help you with everything. So you go to Google and you type in the search bar, craft events, craft shows, vending events near me, 2020. Put in your zip code, and guess what? A whole bunch of them are gonna show up. Right? You also can go to your Chamber of Commerce. You might find some in the local paper. But I love Google. And when you find the shows that you want to do or you're interested in, you have to call. Some of them make you fill out an application first and to just let you know if you're even accepted. So you make the call, and here's what I say. I say, hi, my name is Sharon Hunter. I'm a Scentsy vendor, and I'm interested in vending at your show. Do you have any Scentsy vendors already? And if they say yes, I say, okay, thank you so much, and I move on. But if they say no, I say, okay, great. I'm interested in vending, and can I get some information from you? So you want to have your information, what you want to ask, written down before you call. You need to find out how much the show is. Right? The location, is it indoor or outdoor? If it's outdoor, do they supply a tent? Do you have to supply it? Do they have electricity? Do they have tables and chairs? Or do you need to supply them? So you have to ask some questions, right? So have yourself prepared before you make those calls. So events, of course it's Scentsy. Events are a great way to build relationships and make connections. It's a great way to book parties. It's a great way to bless people with the opportunity. And when you're at an event, you always want to be present, be excited. Don't sit behind your table and sit on your cell phone. Right? You want to stand. I always stand at an event. Unless there's nobody there, which sometimes that happens, and sometimes we need to sit down. That would be the only time. But you need to stand and be inviting to people, right? So when people are passing by, I make compliments. I make eye contact. I try to bring them over to my table so that I can talk with them, right? So when you're making compliments, you have to be sincere. You have to be authentic and real. You can't people can tell in your voice. If you see a nice pair of shoes, you be like, hey girl, I like those shoes. Where'd you get those, right? And you start making compliments and be sincere like that, and people connect with you. People like that, And then you have them come over. You say, hey, do you love Scentsy? Have you ever smelt Scentsy? Have you ever bought Scentsy? And listen to what they're saying. Do you have a consultant? Right? Because you don't want to sit there and give them the whole spiel if they have a consultant, right? But most of the time they say no, or I did, or I don't, or whatever. Well, come on over. What kind of scents do you like? And you start showing them things, right? But the most important thing is to listen. I listen for people to say, I don't have the money right now, because that is an open invitation to say, well, how would you like to host a show and get free and half off product, right? Always have a calendar available. so that when they say, okay, well, let's get something written down, you want to get it written down right away, right? You always want to get information. You always want to have their name, their address, their phone number, and their email address. 4 important things. AMI is an awesome tool. I highly recommend it because if you have AMI, you can enter their information so that you can do follow-ups with them, right? But if you don't have AMI, you need to have something to get their information. I also have drawing slips with me. Every person that walks past my table, whether they come up to my table or not, I always try to get eye contact with them and say, hey, I'm doing a drawing at the end of the day. Why don't you go ahead and fill out one of the drawing slips? And they usually do. Everybody loves to get into drawings, right? So another thing that you need to do is when listening, if you hear somebody say, I don't have the money right now. I can't do this. You know what I'm saying? I can't purchase it. I don't have the money. Or a lot of times I will say, hey, are you from around here? And they answer me and I say, do you work? And whether they say yes or they say no, if they say yes and I say, what do you do? And they work somewhere where there's a lot of people, that's awesome, guys, because that's even more to their advantage because they know so many more people that they can share Scentsy with. So then I use that and I reach out to them about the join opportunity, right? If they say, no, I don't work. And I was like, well, how would you like to make some extra money doing what I do? It's a lot of fun. And when listening to people, you also listen for people that sound, you can kind of read people. They sound down or they sound like they need friends, or then you let them know that we have an amazing community, right? People need that, especially today, people need that. So this is why events are good, so that you can actually connect with people, listen, talk, right? Build those relationships. But you have to have all your paperwork with you. You have to have order forms. You have to have opportunity packets. You have to have join packets because believe me, some people come over to your table and they want to join right there. Well, guess what? When they join, I have a join packet for them that welcomes them right to the team. You get them right in those groups. And if they don't join and you hand them an opportunity packet, get them in our team page. Tell them that you'd like to add them to our team page so that they can look around and follow up with them. So get their information, right? So events are very, very useful. They're very important and they're a great way to build relationships with people. If you have any questions, please reach out to me. I'll let you know what I put in my opportunity packets, what I put in my join packets. And I hope that this video was helpful for you. And I'll be talking to you all soon. All right, guys. Love you all. Bye.